Welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that millions of people have seen but few have truly looked at closely, the 2000 Jefferson Nickel. While most of these nickels are passed from hand to hand without a second thought, certain examples are worth far more than their face value, sometimes even hundreds or thousands of dollars. How is that possible? That's exactly what we're going to uncover today. Let's begin with a look at the coin itself. The Jefferson Nickel is one of the longest-running coin series in American history. First introduced in 1938, this 5-cent piece features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, the front of the coin, and Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. The design remained largely unchanged for decades, making it a familiar part of American coinage. In the year 2000, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering number of these coins, over 846 million in total. As you can imagine, this makes the 2000 Jefferson Nickel extremely common in general circulation. At first glance, there's nothing rare or valuable about a nickel minted in such high numbers. But as any experienced collector will tell you, rarity isn't just about how many coins were minted, it's about how many high-quality examples survive, and whether those coins exhibit certain desirable traits. When it comes to the 2000 nickel, value begins to emerge when we focus on condition, strike quality, and minting errors. Let's break this down. The first factor is condition. Like all coins, Jefferson nickels are graded on a scale ranging from well-worn to pristine. A coin in circulated condition, one that's been used in everyday transactions, will typically show wear on Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair, as well as on the steps of Monticello. These coins are generally only worth face value. However, uncirculated coins, those that have never been used and still retain their original mint luster, can be worth more, especially when they are in exceptional condition. The next factor is grading. Coins are graded using the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A grade of 60 and above is considered mint state, with 70 being a perfect coin with no imperfections visible under magnification. Most 2000 nickels, even if uncirculated, fall into the MS60 to MS64 range. These coins may have minor flaws or weak strikes, but they are still considered collectible. Higher-grade coins, such as those in MS66 or MS67, are much more scarce and can command significantly higher prices, but grading alone isn't everything. There's a special designation within the Jefferson Nickel series that collectors are always hunting for: full steps. This refers to the staircase on the Monticello building on the reverse of the coin. If all 5 or 6 steps are fully struck and clearly defined, the coin receives a full steps designation. This detail is particularly important because it indicates a strong, precise strike from the dies at the mint. Full steps coins are much harder to find, especially in high grades, and they carry a substantial premium on the market. Now, let's talk about mint errors. While most 2000 nickels are standard in every way, a small number were produced with errors that make them extremely valuable. Some examples include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or even major minting anomalies like being struck with the wrong die or being struck on the wrong planchet. One of the most well-known error coins from this year is a two-headed Jefferson Nickel, a remarkable error that involved the use of 2 obverse dies and no reverse die at all. This rare mistake resulted in a coin with heads on both sides, and it sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars. While it's incredibly rare to find something like that, it serves as a reminder that valuable coins can sometimes slip through the cracks of the minting process. So what is the 2000 Jefferson Nickel actually worth in today's market? Let's start with the average circulated example. Most of these coins, even if they look relatively clean, are worth 5 cents. That's the reality for the vast majority. However, if you have a coin that appears uncirculated, with no signs of wear and a shiny, brilliant surface, it may be worth between 20 cents and $1, sometimes more, depending on its appearance. Uncirculated examples in the MS65 range typically sell for a few dollars. But coins that grade MS66 or higher begin to draw attention from serious collectors, especially when they come with the full steps designation. An MS-66 full steps nickel can be worth anywhere from $20 to $50 or more. MS-67 full steps examples are much rarer and may sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on market conditions and collector demand. Only a small number of coins reach this level of perfection, and then there are the outliers, the coins with extreme rarity due to errors or exceptionally high quality. These are the coins that can bring in thousands of dollars. They're not common, and most collectors will never find one in the wild. But they do exist. Every now and then, a coin like that surfaces, maybe in a roll of nickels from the bank, maybe in a collection inherited from a family member, or maybe just sitting in someone's pocket, waiting to be noticed. So how can you tell if your 2000 P Jefferson nickel is valuable? Start by examining the coin under good lighting. Look closely at the Monticello steps. If they're worn smooth or incomplete, your coin likely does not have the full steps designation. If they are sharp and fully defined, you may have something worth submitting for grading. Next, evaluate the overall surface of the coin. Look for scratches, dings, discoloration, or other signs of wear. If the coin still has its original mint luster and no visible wear, it might be uncirculated. Then, consider the possibility of errors. Does anything look unusual? Are the letters or numbers doubled? Is the coin oddly shaped, off-center, or missing design elements? These are all clues that you might have an error coin, which can drastically change its value. If you suspect you have a coin of higher value, consider sending it to a reputable grading service. While there is a cost involved in certification, having your coin professionally graded and encapsulated in a tamper-proof holder can increase both its value and its credibility in the eyes of collectors. As of 2025, the market for Jefferson nickels remains active, particularly for high-grade and full steps examples. Modern coin collectors are increasingly interested in top-tier condition coins, and registry sets are becoming more popular, driving up demand for MS-66 and MS-67 nickels. While the 2000 P is not rare in the traditional sense, coins that stand out due to exceptional quality or rarity of strike can and do sell for impressive premiums. In conclusion, the 2000 P Jefferson nickel is a coin that most people overlook, but those who take the time to examine it carefully may discover hidden value. Whether it's a high-grade example with full steps, a rare mint error, or simply a beautiful uncirculated coin, there's more to this 5-cent piece than meets the eye. The 2002 Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this 5-cent piece might seem like just another common coin, but for those who know what to look for, it can actually be worth significantly more than face value. So, what makes the 2002 Jefferson nickel special? Is it rare? Can it be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? What is its true market value in 2025? Let's break it all down. The Jefferson nickel has a rich history. First introduced in 1938, it replaced the iconic Buffalo nickel and brought a new portrait to America's 5-cent coin, none other than Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The obverse side features Jefferson's profile, while the reverse displays Monticello, his famous Virginia estate. By 2002, the design had been in use for over 6 decades with only slight modifications. That year, the Denver Mint produced its share of these nickels, and each coin bearing the D mint mark represents one struck in Colorado. At the time, these coins were a staple of everyday currency. Millions were made and distributed, primarily for use in daily commerce. However, despite being a modern coin with high production numbers, the 2002 Jefferson nickel has carved out a niche within the world of numismatics. That niche is largely driven by condition, strike quality, and collector demand, not low mintage. The 2002 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and features a smooth edge. Like most coins in circulation, the vast majority of these nickels were used regularly, which means finding high-grade, uncirculated examples today is becoming more difficult as time passes. On the obverse, you'll see Thomas Jefferson facing left, with inscriptions for, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 2002. On the reverse, you'll find Monticello, along with the words, "E pluribus unum, United States of America," and the denomination, 5 cents. The mint mark D is located to the right of Monticello, just above the building. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels in 2002. In terms of raw numbers, this makes the 2002 D coin incredibly common. You can still find these coins in circulation today, often with signs of wear and tear from decades of use. Because of the high mintage, most 2002 D nickels carry little to no numismatic premium in circulated condition. But here's where things get interesting. While the coin may not be rare in general, finding one in pristine condition or with certain desirable characteristics can make it surprisingly valuable. So what sets apart a valuable 2002 D Jefferson nickel from an ordinary one? It really comes down to 4 key factors. First is condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. Anything graded from mint state 60 and above is considered uncirculated. The higher the number, the more flawless the coin. Common grades for valuable examples are MS65, MS66, and even MS67. At those levels, especially if professionally graded, the value begins to rise dramatically. Second is strike quality. One term often used by collectors is full steps. This refers to the clarity of the steps on Monticello, found on the reverse of the coin. A coin with 5 or 6 fully separated steps, without interruptions or flat spots, is said to have full steps. These coins are struck with exceptional precision, and as a result, they're far less common. A 2002 D nickel with full steps in high grade can command a significant premium. Third is surface preservation. Even a coin with minimal wear may have scratches, bag marks, or dull luster. Collectors pay more for coins that retain their original shine, have clean fields, and exhibit excellent eye appeal. And fourth is certification. Coins graded and authenticated by professional services like PCGS or NGC generally sell for more. Certification gives buyers confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition. Now let's talk about money. How much is a 2002 D Jefferson nickel actually worth in 2025? In average circulated condition, most of these coins are only worth their face value of 5 cents. That's no surprise given the high mintage and the widespread availability. However, in uncirculated condition, especially in grades of MS65 and higher, the value begins to climb. A raw uncirculated coin might fetch between 50 cents to a few dollars, depending on the quality of the strike and overall appearance. But here's where it gets exciting. Coins that are certified mint state 66 with full steps can be worth over $100. Move up to MS67 full steps, and you're potentially looking at several $100s or more, especially if the coin has exceptional luster or strong eye appeal. There have even been recorded instances where pristine examples with top-tier grading and full steps have reached values over $1,000 at auction. These examples are rare and represent the absolute best specimens known to exist from that mint year and facility. So yes, a 5-cent coin from 2002 can indeed be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars under the right conditions. Now let's talk about another factor that can boost value: mint errors and die varieties. While the 2002 D nickel does not have any widely recognized major varieties, error coins always generate interest. These could include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether. Any of these errors can significantly boost the coin's value, especially if they are dramatic and in high-grade condition. If you suspect you have an error coin, it's always worth having it examined by a professional or submitted for grading and authentication. If you come across a 2002 D Jefferson nickel, here are a few tips to keep in mind. Do not clean the coin. Cleaning reduces its value by removing original surfaces and luster. Check the steps on Monticello. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting to see if the steps are fully visible. Consider certification if you believe your coin is in exceptional condition. Store coins in non-PVC holders to avoid damage from chemical reactions. If selling, research recent sales of similar coins. This will help you understand the current market and price your coin appropriately. For collectors looking to complete a Jefferson nickel set, finding a 2002 D in high grade with full steps is a goal worth pursuing. For sellers, having your coin graded and professionally listed can help you realize its full potential value. To wrap up, the 2002 D Jefferson nickel might seem like just another common coin at first glance, but when it comes to coin collecting, the details make all the difference. While millions were minted and most remain only worth face value, high-grade uncirculated examples, especially those with full steps, can be quite valuable. In 2025, the market remains strong for quality modern nickels, and collectors are always on the lookout for top-grade coins to add to their sets. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who just found a shiny coin in their change jar, the 2002 Jefferson Nickel is worth a closer look. Who knows? That small, silver-toned coin sitting in your drawer could be worth far more than 5 cents. The 2004 Jefferson Nickel, specifically the piece metal variety. We'll go deep into the history behind this coin, why it was made, what makes it interesting, how rare or common it truly is, and what you can expect in terms of market value today in 2025. Whether you're a hobbyist hoping to learn more about the coins in your pocket change or an investor analyzing the long-term value of modern coinage, this video will give you everything you need to know about this unique 5-cent piece. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's take a journey back to 2004. In 2004, the United States Mint began a bold and historic redesign of the Jefferson Nickel to commemorate the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase and the legendary Lewis and Clark expedition. Known as the Westward Journey Nickel Series, this 2-year coin program featured 4 different reverse designs issued between 2004 and 2005. The 2004 Jefferson Nickel featuring the piece metal reverse was the very first in this special commemorative series. The obverse retained a left-facing image of Thomas Jefferson, but the reverse depicted 2 clasped hands, one representing a Native American and the other a European American, a symbolic reference to the original piece metals given to tribal leaders during westward exploration. Above the hands are a pair of crossed ceremonial pipes and tomahawks, and below them, the date 1803 is inscribed, commemorating the Louisiana Purchase. This powerful imagery was meant to convey a message of diplomacy, mutual respect, and the hope for peace between the U.S. government and Native American tribes during a transformative period in American history. The coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mintmark, and it was issued in vast quantities to ensure it entered widespread circulation. Before diving into values and rarity, let's take a moment to understand the technical details of this coin. The 2004 Jefferson Nickel piece metal variety is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs approximately 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. This is a standard business strike, intended for general circulation. It was not issued as a proof or special mint set coin by default, although proof versions with different mint marks were produced separately. The obverse features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, facing left, with inscriptions reading, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 2004. The reverse shows the clasped hands design, with the inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, Louisiana Purchase, and the denomination, 5 cents. The 2004 piece metal nickel was produced in extremely high numbers. Over 360 million coins were minted at the Philadelphia Mint alone. This makes it one of the more common coins of the early 2000s. Because of its high mintage, most of these coins entered everyday circulation. Many people spent them without realizing their historical significance. As a result, while the coin is common in worn circulated condition, uncirculated examples, especially in high mint state grades, have become more desirable among collectors. Even though the coin is not rare in the general sense, its status as part of a unique commemorative series has given it lasting appeal and collectability, especially in well-preserved condition. While the 2004 piece metal nickel is not considered rare overall, there are specific qualities that can make individual coins more valuable. Chief among these is condition. A coin that has never entered circulation, retaining its original luster, sharp strike, and minimal contact marks, is always more appealing to collectors. Coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as mint state 65 or higher tend to command premium prices. Coins with proof-like surfaces or those struck with unusually sharp detail can also draw significant interest. Even when the base design is common, there are also known error varieties for this coin, such as double die obverse, die clashes, and off-center strikes. These errors are less common and can significantly increase the coin's value, especially if the error is dramatic and the coin remains in high grade. So, let's talk money. What is the 2004 P. Jefferson Nickel piece metal worth today, in 2025, in circulated condition, meaning the coin shows visible wear from use? Its value is typically at or near face value. Most examples found in pocket change or old coin jars are worth 5 cents, perhaps up to 10 cents if they show minimal wear. However, when we move into uncirculated territory, values start to climb. A raw, ungraded 2004 P piece metal nickel in mint condition may sell for anywhere between $1 and $5 depending on the eye appeal, strike quality, and level of detail. Graded coins see more significant jumps. A professionally graded MS-65 coin may sell for around $20 to $30. At MS-66, values can push up to $40 or $50. At MS-67, the price could easily exceed $100. MS-68 examples, though extremely rare, have been known to command several $100s at auction or in private sales. Coins with proof-like qualities or designated as error varieties are a different story. A dramatic double die or well-documented mint error in high grade can reach into the hundreds, and in exceptional cases, even the low thousands of dollars. These are, of course, the exception rather than the rule. It is also worth noting that as more coins are submitted to grading companies over time, population numbers for high-grade examples increase, which can soften prices slightly. That's why timing, demand, and rarity all play key roles in market value. If you believe you have a 2004 P. Jefferson Nickel and want to know if it's worth anything above face value, here's what to do. First, inspect the coin carefully under good lighting. Check for wear. If the coin has obvious surface smoothing, worn lettering, or flattened details, it is likely circulated and worth only 5 to 10 cents. If the coin still retains sharp details, original mint luster, and minimal marks, you may have an uncirculated piece. Consider getting it appraised or professionally graded if you think it's in exceptionally good condition. Next, look closely at the details of the design. Examine the inscriptions, the clasped hands, and Jefferson's portrait. Doubling, distortion, or unusual features may indicate an error variety, which can greatly increase value. Also, check the coin's overall appeal. Even coins with identical grades can vary widely in market value based on toning, surface quality, and strike sharpness. The 2004 P. Jefferson Nickel piece metal may not be a rare coin in the traditional sense, but it holds historical significance, design uniqueness, and collector appeal, all of which make it a desirable addition to any modern U.S. coin collection. As with many coins, its real value lies not only in scarcity but in condition and presentation. A common coin in average shape may be worth its face value, but a pristine, high-grade specimen can be worth significantly more. In 2025, collectors continue to seek out well-preserved examples, particularly those that meet high grading standards or display unusual characteristics. So, if you come across one of these coins, don't overlook it. You might be holding a small piece of American history, and perhaps a hidden gem worth more than you think. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into the world of coins. Leave a comment below if you found one of these nickels or want to share your coin collecting journey. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting.